Each week, American History TV's American Artifacts takes viewers behind the scenes at archives, museums, and historic sites. Using works of art, mechanical inventions, and scientific discoveries, the Great American Hall of Wonders exhibit examines innovation in 19th century America. American History TV toured the Smithsonian American Art Museum show with guest curator Claire Perry.
The first room that you enter when you come into the Hall of Wonders exhibition is the Buffalo Room. And the buffalo was the symbol of America's natural abundance and the dynamic energy of its people. And artists loved to paint buffalo. Authors wrote stories about them. Scientists studied their habits. And Americans made inventions that affected buffalo in profound ways. And this artist, George Catlin, started to go west in 1830. He made a series of trips to the west to document Native people and included buffalo herds in his portrayals of the way of life in the West. And he was inspired to do this by the prevalent idea that buffalo and Native people would soon go extinct as people from the East began to settle in the middle of the country. And so Catlin makes this pleasant introduction, kind of a polite introduction. Most of his pictures, buffalo are stampeding and they're wallowing in the mud and fighting. But here he singles out one buffalo who looks at us, and his tail is switching in a curious way, and he looks to be a kind of docile fellow with his crossed eyes. And he is a creature still accustomed in 1830 to spending most of his time undisturbed by human predators. Well, I was just so thrilled when I could find a person who converged in so many different areas of the exhibition, and that's Audubon. He was an amateur ornithologist. He created one of the first inventories of American birds, the Birds of America, and he also was a great shot who prided himself on his marksmanship, and who said of his wanderings, he said, "I call birds few when I shoot less than 100 a day," meaning that as he was going around looking for specimens to paint for his book, he would just shoot hundreds of birds to find the right specimen. He didn't really take a whole lot of trouble to try and shoot the most exemplary bird. There were so many, he felt it didn't matter to shoot so many, or our modern sensibility that was somehow wasteful did not exist at that time. These are very early ones from 1811, when he was wandering around in areas that were very, very remote in Kentucky, and he had this wonderful eye for these forms, even though he was mostly self-taught. And he would shoot specimens, and then he would string them, put wires through them, and arrange them on a grid in a sort of evocative poses that he thought were typical of the way they acted. And that's how he got them to stand still for his brush.